Hi everyone, it's Aaron Sully from Engage Coaching Group, back to talk to you about anxiety binding behavior number 2. And again, this video series on the 6 anxiety binding behaviors and the ways to overcome them is based on this book called Extraordinary Relationships by Roberta Gilbert. And again, it was a textbook when I did my counseling diploma through Clearmind International. So today we're going to talk about underfunctioning. In the last video we talked about overfunctioning, and so now we're going to talk about the exact opposite, which is underfunctioning. So I'm going to read to you what underfunctioning may look like. And what I want to highlight here is when we're talking about these anxiety binding behaviors, these are the behaviors that we may tend to gravitate towards when our stress level and anxiety level is high and we're not too sure how to deal with it. So these behaviors tend to be our go-to, and they're behaviors that we've learned throughout our life, and they've helped us to manage the anxiety. Although, as you may learn as we do this video series here together, is the anxiety isn't actually being properly managed. It's actually not being addressed, and there's a better way to look at it, and that's what we're going to explore, another option. Okay, so when we look at underfunctioning, here's what it looks like. So you're asking for advice when what is needed is to think things out independently. So you're actually, it's better for you to think about it yourself, but you're going in and getting help. Getting others to help when help really is not needed. You're acting irresponsibly, listening more than talking, floating without goals much of the time, setting goals but not following through with them, becoming mentally or physically ill frequently is a sign of underfunctioning, and tending to become addicted to substances is a typical behavior of someone who's underfunctioning. Okay? Using an outside solution, like alcohol or drugs, to solve and bring down the anxiety when as a coping mechanism, which actually doesn't work over the long term. It may feel like it's working in the short term, but it actually is going to impact things even more as time goes on. All right? So how do you overcome being an overfunctioner if you can relate to this behavior? All right. So here's the change in the pattern, how we change this pattern. So similar to overfunctioning is asking the question, what is my contribution to this pattern? How am I contributing to it? And that speaks to the idea of not actually working on yourself first and actually spending time with yourself around what's going on. Investing in learning how to become responsible for self and only for self. So this is actually the same as overfunctioner, is spending time learning how to have a good relationship with yourself. Taking responsibility for all feelings, good and bad, resting solely with self. This again is coming back to you and becoming more comfortable with those anxious feelings, with the good feelings, with all the feelings, the whole buffet of feelings that you may have, right? Just become comfortable with them on your own, right? And one's thoughts and behaviors resting solely on self. Right? So if you're having specific thoughts or behaviors, you're not projecting it, you're not blaming other people for your situation, you're actually taking responsibility for your actions and reflecting on what's going on for you and what steps you can take to overcome this, how you're contributing to things. All right? And only ask for help when you actually in fact need it. That's important. Okay, it's not a bad thing to ask for help, but to ask for help when you actually require it, and knowing when there's things that you can do where you don't actually need to ask for help. So this particular behavior, I wanted to just point out, it speaks to actually a goal that I had when I was going through my counseling, the counseling diploma program, is focusing on self-love and actually caring for yourself. The depression that I experienced in my life, I wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't caring for myself. And so, one thing that you may want to look at is what things are you doing to actually love yourself and care for yourself from a compassionate perspective. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. Talking about anxiety binding behavior number 2 and how to overcome it. And I'll see you in the next video when we talk about number 3. All right. Thanks for your time.